Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. We're going to go talk to the rest of the people here in Hawaii once again after having our kind of productive chat with Reliable Matthew down there. I talked to the guys here having the Go game. It's the same dialogue, so apparently they're waiting for something significant before new dialogue options break in. In the meantime, let's head into the parlor of the 5 phases and see if Crafty's found anything new. Hi there, Algernon. I was wondering when you were going to show up. Wow. A heavy scent buffers your senses. The scent of pure, unadulterated book. Woody, musky, dusty. The light herbal incense from before smells like an afterthought in the wake of paper smell. Looking around, you see that the shopkeeper has abandoned her earlier feeble attempts at organizing the texts. Several of the towers of books are now reduced to piles on the ground. A piece of paper, caught somehow in a ceiling rafter, rustles gently above you. Crafty? You in? You hear a shuffling of papers. An arm rolls out from under a pile of blankets and books, and Crafty raises her head, a notebook spread open on top of it, and the book topples to the floor. Oh, hey, her voice cracks. Crafty clears her throat with a cough and stumbles out of her pile. Her voice is clear when she speaks again. Sorry about the mess. I was up all night reading, or rather, up every night reading. She stretches. You look dog-tired. Feeling all right? Crafty lets out a single sharp laugh. I've been better, if that's what you mean. Going through these notebooks has been hard, not just because of the sheer amount of information. It's been a nostalgic ride, too. Yeah, why don't you take a break? No way. I've dug myself too deep to back out now, and I don't say that as a bad thing. I've made progress, and I'm proud of that. She leans on a book-covered chair. The sooner I figure out these dreams, the sooner I can rest. And trust me, Sean, I'll make up for it in spades and naps. Well, if that's your plan, remember to pace yourself. You won't get anything done if you become sick. You make a good point. I appreciate the advice, but don't worry, it's not a total slog. These journals are just as exciting as they are laborious. So, what's the latest? The latest. She walks over to a glass table and starts tossing books off of it. As she digs through them, you realize the table is not actually a table, but a glass display case full of dried medicinal ingredients. Crafty withdraws a notebook from the pile, its binding unraveling, the pages holding on for dear life. Here we go. This one's loaded. With what? I got a couple of big finds. Mom's notes are a mess, so I boiled them down to the most important information. An exorcism and the Yama Kings. Where do you want to start? Well, let's go talk about the exorcism first. She flips through the notebook and, after locating the right page, lays the book on the counter. Her index finger glides across the notes as she summarizes its contents. On one of Mom's trips to the walled city, she decided to check out an archway, an old, crumbling relic that residents believed to be haunted. Mom wasn't sure about the hauntings, but upon entering the area, she immediately felt that it was a place of concentrated ki. I know someone who's mentioned that same arc. She's from the walled city. She was that archaeology student, I believe. Crafty looks up from the notebook. I'd believe that. It's a fairly prominent landmark. Seems to me like most people from the walled city would have at least heard of it, if not seen it. What did she say? Yeah, I can boil it down to creepy. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. At least from what my mother wrote, it was a seriously bad. So what happened next? The key wasn't like your standard run-of-the-mill energy. Even for the walled city, this key was exceptionally dark, and it all seemed to gravitate toward the arch. So she did what any kook in her magic brand would try. A Taoist exorcism. How did that go? It went to hell. The exorcism failed and something happened to her. She broke. Crafty takes a deep breath through her nose. My mother had entered the city strong, confident, and capable. But when she left that day, it's hard to explain. It's as if the experience left her vulnerable to those base horrors within the walled city. She grew paranoid and became frail of mind and body, a mere shadow of her former self. So that was the point that it all started to go wrong, alright? It's as if she witnessed something, and it changed her. She became more obsessed than ever, and that's how I remember her now, as that broken woman. I'm not sure how this fits into our investigation, but if that sort of malevolence is coursing through the walled city, it's no wonder the people who live there experience such terrible dreams. Fair enough. Now let's hear about the Yama Kings. Crafty turns to a page marked with a red sticky note, and she looks up at you. Tell me, how much do you know about the Yama Kings? I know one of them's at the end of the Snake Highway. I've run across stories about them in my own research. Dragon Ball. Personally, I've only heard about the Yama Kings in fables and myths, things to scare children to sleep, to inspire awe. As you can guess, intimate knowledge about imaginary beings is largely non-existent, and here, she taps the page, we found the demons of the walled city. Through my mother's excursions into the slum, she came to learn that its residents had their own unique Yama Kings, different from the traditional ones. The people there are segregated from the rest of Hong Kong. Over time, they came to believe that their home was possessed by local demons. Makes sense considering the place's penchant for crime and disaster. Interesting. What were they like? There were 3 that Mom knew of. Lam Vi, Fu Mang, and Quin Ya. Each Yama King is associated with a negative energy on which they feed. Lam Vi feeds from cowards, Fu Mang from the guilty, and Quin Ya, slaves. Unfortunately, my mother's handwriting declined with her sanity. She rubs her forehead in frustration. She has a lot of details in here about these local Yama Kings, but I can only make out bits and parts. There's a list, something here about her mouth twists sideways and her eyes squint, straining to read the notes. Rules? Maybe laws of some sort? The thing that stood out to me is here. She plops a finger onto the page. It's about the propriety surrounding ownership in deals, exchanges, negotiations. Luncheons? No, that last part can't be right. Anyway, it says the Yama Kings, under rules or laws, must adhere to the terms of a deal. And there's something else, but... She sighs and flips the paper onto the counter. Nope, sorry. Can't read anything past that. You know, it's strange to me that Mom found these mystical beings significant enough to mention in her documents. Makes me wonder if she thought they were real or connected to the curse that she believed in. A thump, and Crafty closes the notebook. She casually tosses it back onto the display case. It's not the best lead, but I think it's a step in the right direction. Well, that's definitely something there, Crafty. Back so soon? Yes, indeed. Think you could send me a copy of those notes? Crafty taps her finger to her nose. Already a step ahead of you. I just finished digitally transcribing the information. I'll send it your way. She looks around the book-covered shop. As soon as I find my terminal. Thanks, Crafty. You're welcome. Expect them soon. Cool. Anything else that I can talk to you about? Okay, so let's talk to our old friend here. Hasn't changed a bit. This austere, refined-looking elf is browsing the shop's collection of talisma, herbs, and crystals. Noting your approach, he turns to face you. Good evening, my friend. I hope it's been a pleasant one. It's pretty good so far. You? The elf cocks his head, considering the question. I have definitely had worse nights, without a doubt. As, I suspect, have many who live here in Hoi. One need only look to the walled city to see how far into misery and squalor one can fall. My name is Algernon Half-Dream, and it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Algernon does not extend his hand, but he does incline his head politely. It's not quite a bow, but almost. You don't sound like a local. No, I am not, I admit, though I have been to Hong Kong many times in the past. I was acquainted with Meow's mother, Eleanor. Algernon spares a moment to survey the shop. I must say, it's been kept in wonderful condition, if not improved somewhat. Where are you originally from? I have been traveling my entire life, and rarely stay in one locale for long. I would consider nowhere and everywhere my home. When you speak as many languages as I do, it's inevitable that they begin to bleed together, though I've always had a particular fondness for Cantonese. It has a lyrical quality few other languages can match. So you've been in the walled city? No. There's a latent finality to Algernon's tone. He pauses for a moment before elaborating. I have looked around outside and spoken to some residents who trade at the edge, but I have not entered it. The misery and hopelessness of those within it is overwhelming, and I would prefer not to venture too near such a well of negativity. But those emotions have colored and warped astral space in a unique fashion, one that I felt was worth studying, albeit from afar. He shakes his head sadly. Such a waste of human potential, to think of all the ways the world and fate have failed those people. You've got some interesting eyes, Algernon. Do I? I've never really thought about them, to tell you the truth. They allow me to see, and there our relationship ends. Surely there must be many people in Hawaii with interesting eyes. Cyber surgery is so common these days as to be almost routine. Most people's eyes don't glow, Algernon. I suppose that's true, but there are so many inexplicable, I can't say that, sorry, quirks of genetics in this post-awakening world. Birds that summon lightning, dogs that breathe fire, cats that transform into lions. Glowing eyes seem a small thing, taken in comparison to all of those. Are you a mage or a shaman? What makes you think I am either of them? Perhaps I am simply an inquisitive soul. Algernon smiles and gestures toward the racks of magical accessories on the wall. Of course, a merely inquisitive soul would not be interested in purchasing any of this. Perhaps I am both, or neither. The nature of magic is fluid, especially in these tumultuous times, so soon after the dragons have awoken. Too many people try to draw binary divisions between methods of thaumaturgy. At the heart of things, there is will, there is power, and there is change. See you later, Algernon. That's safe travels, my friend. That just blew Sean's little mind there. Just... Oh, that's it. Alright, well, Sean's going to take care of this nosebleed you just gave him. And I think that's pretty much everything here except for Club 88. I guess it's time that we head that direction. See what's going on with the Ka Fai clan. Surely things maybe be a little bit better. But you know things are serious now if Algernon's shown up. He only shows up when things are coming to a head. Alright, Frederick. Let's see what's going on in your world, sir. Freddy Ka Fai is showing off some fresh ink to everyone who passes inside Club 88. On each forearm he has tattooed an anchor. He demonstrates how they look in various poses, from flexes to his standard arms folded across his chest. Not bad, right? Someone told me that only real sailors get tats like these. I figure it's appropriate either way, seeing as how my meat hooks hit like a pair of anchors. I'll take you at your word on that. You getting cute with me, Sean? Because, you know, I've been letting you strut about with your arms on account of respect for what you do. Don't go making me rethink that. I'm pretty sure I could knock you across this entire area. Because someday soon, this guy here is going to be part of a crew you wouldn't want to tangle with. We'll make you walk the plank or something. You're serious about joining a pirate crew? Hell yes. And not just any pirates, the most exclusive group out there on the water, the Hellthunder crew. I've heard about them last week. They only take orcs and trolls, like me. Tough bastards, too. Men to be feared. It's the perfect operation for me to join, and I'm sure they'll take me, especially when they learn who my father is. I wouldn't be surprised if they were inspired by him in the first place. Not many troll pirates back in my Boz day. In fact, I bet they make me first mate or something just for being his blood. Yeah, or they have a grudge with him and decide to spill yours. Have you talked with your father about all of this? No, I want it to be a surprise. Don't want him feeling like he forced me into the family business, by which I mean piracy, not this fluff we've got going on here. Doesn't take a genius to see that my ba has no love for the club. I'm a little afraid he might be jealous when I tell him I'll be shipping out. I know he misses it. The adventure, the thrills. I can picture it all, unfurling the black sails, running up the Skull and Crossbones, chasing down a fleeing ship and then swinging across the plunderer hold. I don't think it's probably like that now. Yeah, I know it's not like that. These days it's speedboats with machine guns, climbing up rope ladders in heavy seas, and shipjacking. But hey, that's what I'm cut out for. I've got a heart for the sea, but I'm not afraid of hardship and hard work and fights. I don't work out just to look good and bounce drunk smugglers. I'll leave you be there, Frederick. I think the life is going to be a little bit more jarring than you think it's going to be. Kind of like those people who decide to be crab fishermen on Deadliest Catch and realize that it is a lot harder than they think. Brent Shirky. I think that's another one of the runners that we can hire. Let's go ahead and talk to Callum. Even though he has a drink in his hand, the red in Callum's eyes is not that of drunken stupor, but of barely suppressed rage. An angry troll is a dangerous thing, and an angry drunk troll is a disaster waiting to happen. What do you want? You don't look so good. You should see the other guy. Not a scratch on her, of course. Might be easier if she just hit me, but she fights with words, infusing them with guilt and fear and deceit. She gets in your head. It's no wonder I'm having such twisted dreams. Problems with your mother? Asking that is like asking for my life story, but the short version is that my parents have been actively working against me since I was old enough to think for myself. But this time, it goes beyond discouragement. It's a new low. No other word for it but sabotage. Whoever my would-be patron is, he works for By Who, same corp my mother used to work for. Not sure why she quit, but it must have been an ugly break for her to be acting this way. To think she'd be so spiteful that she'd deny her own son a future because of it. Always thought she just wanted me home, working as a wage slave in her own house. Turns out, she can't stand the thought of me succeeding where she failed. Oh, there was an intervention. Dream? Messed up dreams. Same one, actually. Over and over. I'm lying on a long dining table, like you'd find in a rich man's home. Real wood, polished, the set of all the finery. But there I am, right in the middle of it all, like the main course. I hear whispers all around me, women's voices. And then one of them approaches and I see that it's my mother. She doesn't even look me in the eye. She just sees me like an object, some kind of thing. And then she cuts into me. I don't feel any pain. I suppose I'm dead, but I scream anyway. I scream because of the look on her face when she starts to eat the hunk of me she carved off. Her teeth are terrifying. Then another woman approaches, and it's my mother again. They all are. And they start devouring me bit by bit until there's nothing left. Ew. Well, I'll just leave you be there, Callum, with your lovely dreams. The patriarch of the Ka Fai clan seems more morose than usual. The effect is particularly pronounced because of his massive size and worn granite exterior. He looks like a mountain that has collapsed under its own weight. You return to us again, Sean? I come for the strobing light. Yeah, let's break the ice here. I come for the strobing lights, but stay for the conversation. Those damn lights. They're terrible, aren't they? Between those and lack of sleep, my head is killing me. Bad dreams? As a matter of fact, yes. And to call them bad dreams would be putting it mildly. I don't remember much, and I am thankful for that, but what I do remember... There was a woman's voice, possibly Ermine's, telling me that I'm not wanted or needed. She urged me to leave, by whatever means necessary. I think she wanted me to kill myself. My boys were there too, only they were young again, but they didn't talk. They just snapped at me, trying to bite me. And their teeth? They had far too many teeth. Rows upon rows of them, like shark teeth. I don't think I've ever been so scared in my whole life. Is everything alright with Callum and Freddy? I don't know. Every time I try to be a father to them, I feel more and more like I'm anything but. I suppose it's because they're not my little boys anymore. They're grown men now. Wish it weren't the case. They were so much easier to handle and maybe easier to love back when they were just boys. When their dreams were just silly nonsense, but all the more endearing because of it. Now, as men, their ambitions frighten me. I worry, but haven't the first clue what to do about it. I talk to them, but I don't think Callum respects me anymore. And Freddy is in his own little world. Can you believe he was convinced I was a pirate? Henry lets out a sad laugh and just shakes his head. Did you ever have any run-ins with pirates there, Henry? Back in my day, there weren't many true pirates in the waters around here. The bigger ships were too well defended, and the smaller ones were mostly not worth the effort. But as time went on, more and more money poured into Hong Kong. That money attracted more sophisticated criminals, Rigged vessels, some of them formerly military. Firepower, electronic warfare, trained men. I was mostly lucky. Wuxing was careful with its ships. They gave a lot of ships escorts in and out of port in the stretches where pirates were most likely to strike. Anytime we had big assets in tow, they'd send in an escort or an air squadron to cover us. We had some light guns on the tugboat, and that was enough. Pirates saw us for what we were, a trouble magnet with nothing worth stealing. There was only one incident, but we won't be talking about that. There are things I don't want my wife or boys to know about this world. Or me. Fair enough, I will leave you be, Henry. Things are going really bad here with the Ka Fai household. What say you, Brent? Something I can help you with, friend? The elf has a hard-set look to his face and the cold stare of someone accustomed to casual violence. Interesting tattoos. The most striking thing about him, however, are the glowing golden tattoos that wrap from his forehead around toward the back of his head, just over one ear. Yeah, that's what I just said. Nice ink you've got there. It's not ink. Not really. It's a spell. The elf's tone is flat and disinterested, but he fixes you with an intense stare. Magical tattoo. The kind of thing you tend to pick up in the business. What business is that, anyway? Fixing you with a dubious look, the elf cocks his head. What the hell do you think, man? Look at you. We're obviously working the same angle here in Hoy. The name's Brent. Brent Shirky. He doesn't extend a hand, but nods at you in greeting. I'm a mage. One of the best in this hemisphere, in fact. Nice to meet you. I'm Sean. Good to know you. You need anyone to pick up the magical slack on your team, you can find me here. What's your specialty as a mage? What kind of direct question is that? Are you interviewing me for a job renting tuxedos or something? Brent snorts and hunches over the table on one elbow. Magic is about power. You can dress it up however you like, but that's the core of what it is. I've met a lot of magicians that talk about being spiritually in tune with the universe or reaching a higher state of enlightenment. It's all crap. You focus your will to enact a change on the universe. The stronger your will, the bigger the change. Calling it anything else is just window dressing. Reminds me a little bit of Dresden. That's why I bring the big guns. Fire, lightning, raw force. Oh, it is Dresden. My will is stronger than steel, or Kevlar, or stone. A good mage knows exactly how far they can push themselves, and they ride that limit. It's not the blessing of a totem or idol, but their own skill at knowing their limits. Just like an athlete. And that's a remarkably open way of putting it. Why should I dress it up just because some people grasp at gods? Sure, they get totemic power from somewhere, but totems always seem to match the shaman's pre-existing outlook and prejudices. Some people can't accept the power that comes from within themselves, so they have to pretend it's been given to them. Well, I think the shamans would have something to say about that. Brent lifts a hand, gesturing in the air as he speaks. It's like this. We know we can graph the power output of magical energy. We can benchmark the intensity of spirits and astral energies. The entire basis of modern thaumaturgy is treating magic like any other science. We don't know how everything works, but the same is true for quantum physics. Why should we assume higher powers are at work when the scientific method can be applied to thaumaturgy? I certainly understand the desire to look for answers in the heavens, but they're just as ephemeral, or I don't know that word, as ever. So, why don't you use a street name? Brent shrugs, one corner of his mouth curling up in a wry smile. When I started running, I was too young to know better. By the time it mattered, I was too good for anyone to do anything about it. Since I'm sinless, it's not like any of the megas can attach meaningful information to the name. It's just as meaningless as any street name in terms of tracking me. Besides, street names have always struck me as a little ridiculous. You're going to call yourself something that sounds like a teenage Matrix handle, and that shows you're serious? Please. I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror if I called myself something like Blackheart, Silverhand, or Andariel. It's just ridiculous. Brent Shirky is a name that's mine. I've owned it my whole life. Why change that now? So what's with the magical tattoo? Oh, this? Brent lifts two fingers, running them across his forehead toward the tip of his ear. Got this done in Yokohama a few years back. An old crewmate's brother is a tattoo artist out there, specializing in quickened spells. You put this kind of ink in, it's like getting a spell cast on you for good. A ward will knock it down just like normal, but you never have to recast a spell, it just slowly regenerates. Nice alternative to cyberware. So what spell does it hold? Kind of prosaic, but I'm really allergic to pollution. Intensely. Developed it during a stint in Kolkata a few years back. Something about all the crap they pump into the air just wrecked my lungs. I couldn't keep up on the job, so this spell alleviates the allergies. Not as flashy as mind reading or something, but still useful. Fair enough. I'll talk to you later there, Brent. So he's got allergies. Well, let's go talk to Mama Ka Fai and see how she feels about all the disillusionment going on regarding the males in the family. Ermine Ka Fai cleans and oils the disassembled parts of a half-dozen assault rifles spread across a nearby workbench. Her focus borders on obsessive, like a person rubbing her hands raw from excessive washing. I knew it. I just knew it. Everything all right, Ermine? She looked startled by the interruption, as if her words were not meant for other ears. Oh, nothing. It's nothing. Doesn't seem like nothing. She pauses in her work, staring at her hands a moment before finally turning her eyes upward. It's about Callum and the man he's been in contact with. I know who he is now, and it's not right. Who is he? Someone I once worked with at Baihu, a superior. He was a powerful man then, and that was over 20 years ago. He has grown even more powerful since, I have no doubt. If he isn't running the Hong Kong branch by now, it won't be long before he is, if that is what he wants. And this is a man who gets what he wants. If he wants Callum, I think I'm going to lose my son. She returns to her work, clearly trying to lose herself in it. Is Callum all right? For the moment, yes, but I don't know how I can possibly keep him safe. I can't tell him why, but I have to make him understand that he cannot see this person. Ever. But the closer I try to hold on to him, the quicker my boy seems to slip away. I fear I'm driving him straight into the arms of this man. Whatever happens after, it would be my fault. All my fault. She returns to her work, clearly trying to lose herself in it. Eee. So, I'm pretty sure the next time that we come back here after a mission, things are going boom in the Ka Fai household. But I think that is everything here in Hoi, guys. In the next episode, we'll be on the bolt hole, and we'll check the mission computer and start talking to the rest of the crew. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. It was really cool to see Algernon again. If you liked the episode, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help, and we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.